I sent out a message with some of the things that we'll talk about here today. We're going to talk about if you guys have questions on the to-dos and score tasks, either questions, bugs, or features. Team leadership, how can we improve the leadership we provide? So there's kind of several areas in there: training, delegation, screen share coaching, KPIs, helpful prioritization. Another item is response times. There should be no more bumping, so it shouldn't be just like a bunch of clutter. Since you guys should have a prioritized to-do list that you can check and see what you're working on right now. But we do need to make sure that we stay on the same page with timely and clear communication and emails or things like that do come through. And then I have the hiring priorities listed off here. We're really focused on getting a new PPC analyst. I know Shik's been very busy there, as well as possibly another copy intern, visual producer. So that's kind of the layout of the land. Now, I guess first off, does anybody have any questions, or they have issues on the to-dos and score tasks? Aman, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, there was a question from Dian, but that is simply about notifying the, for example, you assign a task to me and I made some progress, and now I need to provide some kind of an update over there. So that is some kind of notification she was asking for, I guess. Feature request auto refresh page.
Okay. So, yeah, I've heard. Go ahead.
But I guess we do have that kind of functionality over Basecamp, so probably we don't even need that, I feel.
Yeah, well, one of the things is I want to make sure that we're not having one, there should be no task inside of the to-dos that's like, develop this website. That's not a task, that's a major project. What we need to do is we need to break it down into actual tasks that people can accomplish in a reasonable amount of hours, like 2 or 1 or 2 or 4, 3 or 4 or 5, but not like a 50-hour task. So it should be something like, so if you're going to develop a website, that should be broken out as convert the home page from PSD to HTML, and you have 6 hours for that. You might have the same thing, convert PSD to HTML for the category page, so on the product page, and those are supposed to be kind of separate items. There should be no just project.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we are doing this for a racing break. We are breaking the items in a multiple to-do list. So yeah, we'll be testing this out, like how it goes, for sure.
Yeah, and basically a good rule of thumb is there should be no to-do that would take longer than a full day to work on it. Like usually to-do should be like a couple of hours, 1 hour, half hour, something like that. It shouldn't be like, I'm going to be working on this for the next 25 hours or something,
Okay. Yeah, got it.
I see Umar has a suggestion, the auto refresh page, and that's definitely on my feature list. Just the issue is it requires a ton of development time to do, so it wasn't quite as big a priority yet for me. So I'll put this in here. Ashok, you want to talk to us about what your suggestion is here?
Yes, actually, we have auto refresh on the tool, which loads the score task to do interface after a couple of times. But it takes us to the blank page. I mean, a total white page. If we could have a feature like, if it automatically takes us back to the page where we were earlier, it will just save us 1 click from us.
Now that's a good question, and there's a specific technical reason why I don't have that. So if you guys have seen when you open up the to-do list, it takes you to, and you leave it there for 10 minutes, it'll just clear off the entire page and it says, please refresh this page. The reason why it does that and it doesn't automatically refresh is if you guys have, obviously a lot of people have a lot of different browser tabs open, and if it auto-refreshed the page every 10 minutes, that would create a huge server load, and we basically would kind of do DDoS attack on our own website, basically, by accident. So we just basically, we would end up having hundreds of requests coming in all the time to the server, but nobody's actually checking the pages. So it's purposely done to say, please refresh this page, because a lot of times, like overnight or whatever, you're not going to be looking at it. So,
are you able to select multiple tasks and slide them on tasks? I'll start doing individually right now.
you can only do it individually, yeah. That one at a time. I don't know how you would slide around multiple tasks and select them at once.
Or maybe could you like because a lot of features like doing like Google and stuff, you can select multiple, like in Google.
You can archive multiple things, but you can't move them around, I don't think.
No, but you can like take them and move them into like different folders and stuff like that. And maybe grab the block. And,
yeah. Select multiple to-dos. Yeah. Okay. That's a good suggestion. Select the multiple to-dos. Anybody else have any other questions, concerns, suggestions on this?
Well, from like a copy perspective for to-dos on score tasks, so like when we, for example, if I have a to-do on Basecamp on score task that's like create homepage copy, that's something that might be, you get it to do, assign it out to a copywriter, you get that back, submit it to Basecamp, put the VP to review, send it to the client makes notes, comes back, make revision, etc. So that to do might sit there for a while near the top or wherever it's sitting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've already done sort of what I have to do for at the time being.
There's a couple of different suggestions that can happen on this. And I've mentioned that it's basically when you have like a process sort of thing where it's going to get passed between a few different people before something gets completed. What you can do, and let me see if I can find a good example of this. I'll have to log in Basecamp too then. Basically, there's two options. Number one is you can actually complete the task, close it out, and create a new task for somebody else and assign that to them, and say like review this copy. So you might, if it's assign assign copy to a writer, you create that as an item, assign it to yourself, do that item, then you might add a new item that says check back and make sure this writer submits back the copy. And then once you get it back, then you might create a new item, you might do it on somebody else. Now that's a lot of work, but there's another option as well, which they're really old things, which is basically if you remove a person from the list, it'll update that person's list and actually remove that from their score task list as well. So like if it's no longer assigned to you right now, whoever it should be assigned to, you should assign it to that person, then it doesn't appear on your list until you're added back onto Basecamp. So let me actually, I'll pull up Basecamp and try and show an example. Let's see. This is the same problem that Carrie had earlier. Click on the stupid thing so it doesn't go.
Oh, there, now it worked.
Yeah. Okay, so for an item like this, like let's say where it's create a third batch of copy, in some of these tasks you might have multiple people assigned here. But what you can do is you can actually just only have the person it's actually assigned to listed here. And then when Charlene's done with the review and sends it on to the client or it's ready to be posted, she might reassign that to like Andre to post or to you to pass on to a developer. Basically, if you change whoever's assigned here, then each time that the tool runs the import, which is at 7 a.m. and at 1 p.m., it'll update on the list too. So it'll remove the item from your list if it doesn't appear there. So that's an alternative way to do this for a process sort of task like that. Any questions on that?
The one thing that I don't like about creating a new task each time is for things like mockups and maybe even reviewing copies. I like being able to have everything listed in one task, and I can go back and see every iteration of the mockup all together instead of having to have 3, 4 different tasks open to see.
To see it, so you can see the whole stream of conversation. In this case, this would be the whole thing that would make the most sense for you, probably. Just whoever's currently active that needs to do something. And this makes the most sense anyways.
I think for most of the tests, that's what would make the most sense.
Yeah, I think this makes the most sense because if you're gonna have an ongoing thread, you just reassign. Whoever's the active person is the only one assigned to it, but everybody else can obviously just log into Basecamp and click on the thread and see, okay, well, where are we at? It's still on Andre to make his update. Yeah, that's my suggestion there. Andre, it looks like you got some thoughts. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so basically there is this feature in Basecamp where we can set the task where to start and when to end. So if we can somehow incorporate that within our tool, and if that feature actually close the task initially, for example, if we set a run, for example, tomorrow, and we set that task today, so if the task is closed, I believe that it will be not in our list, and then once the task run, actually, it will appear in our list. So I don't know if we can use that feature.
I'm not familiar with the runs from or runs to feature. Where can I see that? Where can I?
Yeah, just open Basecamp task.
Basecamp 3, it's like, for example, we are just
and the view below view on, yeah.
Okay, so what does this do?
So we can set the task to run from 16 January till other date.
Will it automatically mark the task as complete when that January 19th comes up?
I'm not sure. Basically, I'm wondering if this actually closed the task now and reopen on January 16th.
I don't know. I've never used that feature before. Has anybody else ever used this feature? It seems to me, well, I'd have to read up on it, but it seems like it'd be something that would only open in the task for like 3 days, and then it would close it automatically, which is probably not necessarily the behavior we're looking for. I don't know.
I don't think it closes it automatically. It's just trying to stick things that we
Due date, yeah.
That it has range.
Range of due dates?
It doesn't change any functionality.
Well, if you think of like a good use case for this, then talking about it.
It seems like it's like more like that overarching kind of task, right?
Yeah, so
like build a website.
Yeah.
Build a website. Well,
Yeah.
This time for this long.
Yeah, I guess that's a little bit what we want to avoid. But that's an interesting idea there, Andre. If you can find a way that you think that would be useful, definitely email me and let me know about that.
Okay, we'll try that.
Before we first started a website project, we used to like discovery will run from here to here, time will run from here to here, and so on, and then hope that we stay within those ranges so we see the goals.
Okay, so just like it's more of a goal thing than anything else.
That's the way we use it.
Okay. Interesting. Mary, you want to share this, or should I just read it off for you? I can read it off if you're not on your mic.
Okay, I wanted to request a drop-down feature, like there should be a drop-down with every task. When we start work on any task, we can change the status to in progress, and then when we send it to the DPs, we can change the status to interview. When it's complete, the DPs can change it to done. So it's like a process in progress, and then interview. We can add any other options.
Okay, that's an interesting idea. I'll make a note of this feature request. This in here as well. Has anybody had any problems logging in and using this? Has everybody got your tasks, your list updated? Has anybody had any issues with that? Updating your list, making sure. Do you guys understand how to use the list? Generally, you want to work from the very first item. Whatever you're going to work on right now is going to be the #1 item. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions on that?
We hardly do recruiting, to tell you the truth. I mean, you want to assign some tasks to us, but it's not really tailored.
No, that's fine. That's what I expect for calendar-based positions. So you might only have a few special tasks in here. Same thing with Brian, because usually it's calendar dates. Brian always does a billing on the 1st. He does payroll on the 15th. He does credit card reconciliations on the 22nd. I mean, it's just, he's got a spreadsheet where a process where he just checks off his list every month. And the same thing happens generally for you guys. Now, there is certain things that you guys should be using. So if you get assigned, like I need to review 55 candidates under the recruiter position, you can put that in there. So you put that in as like a to-do. So 55 candidates to review on, let's say, copy intern. And then that would be an item. You might say, like, okay, that's going to take me about 4 hours or whatever. And they'll just put that in. You can actually track that then. If you get assigned multiple reviews like that, plus other things, you'll have this there. Now, for interviews, obviously, just use your calendar. You don't need to put it in here unless you have like some sort of an outside thing to complete. For a sales team, it's similar to they're very calendar-based in terms of they schedule a bunch of phone calls and meetings with clients, but there is certain things sometimes where Jordan might want you to create a report or a proposal or different things like that, and you might put that on here. Or if you just have items that you want to remind yourself of, like I need to call XYZ client for this and this, and just sort of it's a floating item that you'll get to when you get to it. Those are good items to keep track in here. I keep a lot of widely varied items on mine. Everything from down here, I'll have like a lot of idea stuff. So I have like figure out a better password management solution. You know, I have all sorts of stuff like that. And then you'll see like the concrete score task bugs and things like that, which are more direct than I have up here as well. And I've been maintaining something like this basically for like 4 years now. It's a very useful tool to make sure stuff doesn't get lost. I'm still transferring it over from my old tool where I have about 700 items. I'm slowly like figuring out what I actually want to move over. But Charlene, go ahead.
Hey, so I just wanted to confirm where the other teams were at with their prioritization processes, where, you know, that being SEO, development, and copy. I'll get a couple of responses from.
Christian, have you checked in with all your team members to make sure that their lists are prioritized at this point? Christian, can you hear?
I actually haven't. I've only checked on my own task.
What's that?
I've only actually done my own task. I haven't checked with my team yet.
Okay, so this is something I want all the team leads to do and everybody like that, and each team member. You guys do need to make sure that your to-do list is up to date for everybody across the company. If I come across somebody's list who's not up to date, that's not a good thing. So make sure that your to-do list is up to date, you keep it up to date, you maintain it. That way other people can check in, see what your work volume is like, what your priorities are, what items are not going to be gotten to probably. This especially goes for digital, so our digital producers can see our production team's task queues and they can see, okay, well, we're going to have a designer be working on this in 2 or 3 days. The developer is going to be working on a client in like 4 days, my client, or and they can also check what the SEO analysts are prioritizing, and they can help reprioritize stuff. So maybe a client has said, hey, all I really care about right now is link building. I really want to make sure you get my link building handled. We can reprioritize on that client's list, link building above other items, and maybe even stop other tasks that like copy might be doing. So we want to it's very important that we keep that up to date and that everybody has this on there. And this goes for every team. So like if it's a recruiting team, I should be able to just easily look at your calendar to see all your interviews, and then look at this list to see all of your routine work that you're trying to do. And that goes for sales and everything else. So if I look at somebody's calendar and I see like there's only like 2 meetings scheduled in the next 2 days for Joe, for example, and he has like only 2 items in here, then I'm going to know Joe's available. I can give Joe a lot more stuff to do in certain areas that I need help with, you know.
So you're saying I should just put a bunch of stuff in there?
Just fill it up with filler. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
I did have a question.
Yeah.
When people kind of change task priorities and stuff on you, do we get notifications on that?
No, but the task itself, so there's no notifications that will go out other than when the task is first assigned, and it's assigned to somebody. I'm also going to create a notification to go out when a task is completed that wasn't like something you assigned to yourself. So if, and it's not on your list. So like basically, if I assign Alfonso to review 55 job candidates, Alfonso checks that completed, they'll send me a notification, an Alfonso notification just saying, Alfonso just completed this item. And that way I can go, and if there's something I need to do off that, I can do something with it, or I can do a quality review or whatever I want to do. So that's kind of, that's a new feature that I'm going to be adding. That's a kind of higher on the list for me. Yeah. Constante, I was just saying that he cleared out the tasks. I do want to make sure that everybody does this, and this is, as I said, this is what team leads. They're going to be working off of this a lot because they're going to be assigning out a lot of tasks and then checking up on seeing what's going on. This will make a team lead's job a lot easier so that you know what's going on with each of your team members. I want team leads to make sure they schedule meetings or reviews of all their team members probably on Monday if you haven't already done it. Rebecca and Charlene, I know you guys were talking about doing a meeting, I think, on Wednesday. Did you guys do that?
Let me see. That's actually been scheduled for Monday at 3.
Okay, so
I'm looking right at it.
Okay, good. Good. These visual producers as well. This will help you guys prioritize tasks. As I've told you guys many times, there's going to be almost an endless amount of stuff on anybody's list. There's always more work. There's always things we can do to improve the company. And there'll probably be like a number of items you're never going to get to, like further down your list. You'll see even on my list, I have like stuff that's going to be harder for me to get to, like improvements to score task itself, like setting up the overall SEO system I want to set up, like with the SEO checklist and everything. I'd like to build that into here. But that's an item that I may not be able to get to myself. That'd probably be something, if I ever hired somebody to work with me on that, I could reassign this to that or something. But I'm still a ways out from that. So you guys all should have stuff like that. There's always more things that can be done for clients that can be done to improve things. And you're going to need to use this to prioritize your work. Let's see. Christian, is it possible to have new tasks that got added to the list be bolded, highlighted until task is checked, opened, and moved in the list? So Christian, I guess one thing you'll have, and Christian, I'd like to hear your ideas on this, but if I added a new task and assigned it to you, it would send you an email. It's my understanding that Basecamp, if you're going to assign a task to Basecamp, you get that Basecamp email. So I'm not quite sure what you're looking for with this feature.
Yeah, while I was using it earlier, I got new tasks from Basecamp and score task refreshed. And the first task that's there that I was going to check wasn't prioritized earlier. So I wasn't aware that that was a new task that came in, and I actually worked on it rather than what I was prioritized to, what I myself prioritized to have on top. So if the new task gets highlighted or bolded, I would know that that came in new, and I can just move it down or check it and then move it.
So new Basecamp,
that way.
Was it a Basecamp item that was imported, or was it just an assigned item? Christian?
Yeah, I received some new Basecamp tasks. They got assigned to me, and when score tasks refreshed, they went on top of my list.
So Basecamp, when it imports, it should be putting it at number 25 on your list usually. So it shouldn't ever appear at the top of your list. It should just appear in the middle of your list, basically. The only task that would appear number 1 would be tasks. See, like I had these tasks imported from Basecamp today. I guess I put them at about 15. And I think that's generally where they come. So they don't come to the top of your list. They should be going in the middle of your list. And that's not happening for you, Christian?
I'm going to check if that happens again. Maybe it just happened one time or just today. And yeah, if that happens again, I'll let you know.
Well, remember that if a task isn't added through Basecamp, it will be added to the top of your list by default unless you change that. So if I added a task through here, the default, you can see right here, click see all options. The default is to put it at the #1 priority, basically. So if it's added in this system, but then you'll receive an email saying, hey, you've had a new task added to your list. So you'll see a notification. Any other questions or thoughts on to-dos? Shift, drag and drop is very useful in quickly reprioritizing tasks. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I use that quite a bit myself. Yeah, okay, let's talk about the next item. I guess we have one more suggestion. Can we have a sync button, user specific? When they click on that, it will simply import tasks from the Basecamp to the user's list. That's an interesting idea, Amon. I'm going to make a note of that. Yeah, I possibly could do this. It's actually set up not to sync one user at a time, but I could have a sync all, and we could kind of run that at different points. So let me put this in. Okay. Good idea, Amon. Looks like Christian also likes it, +11. So, okay, good points. So team leadership. So how can we improve the leadership that we provide to everybody? So especially new team members, I'm curious to hear those of you who've been here for maybe a month or two or something like that, you guys' perspectives on this. So our training, the way, and this is outside of just roaming. This is kind of what your team lead does for you. So their one-on-one training they might do with you when they delegate work to you. If they've done screen share coaching, usually I strongly recommend that team leads have new team members share their screen. The team member does the work while the team lead watches and gives coaching. That's very helpful for learning things. Or in terms of our KPIs, or help with understanding what your priority tasks are. Does anybody have any, especially new team members, does anybody have any thoughts on this stuff? Let's see, do we have any new team members on the call? Question.
There's a lot of them watching the YouTube.
Okay, we'll ask them to stick stuff in chat. Brittany, do you have any thoughts here? Or Avinash?
I definitely think that.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I think the screen sharing idea is great. I've done a few calls with Rebecca where she's shared her screen, and I agree with you. I think if it was kind of swapped and we were forced to do it as she walked us through it, it would stick better.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm going to make a note on that here. And generally, and team members, remember, when you're working with your team leads, I know it might be intimidating at first, but feel free to suggest that, and that's just a standard thing, and that's something I push for everybody. And sometimes I forget about it, and I'll do the task really quickly while somebody watches and hope they learn. But that's just, it's not nearly as effective as when I sit there and say, okay, you do the task, and I'll tell you the steps and things you need to think about. It really helps it stick a lot better. I have to watch while team member task. Great point. How about any other new team members? Does any of the new team members have any thoughts on this stuff?
Yeah, I think the process is very good. The training process, I like it, and the way I'm working with Aman, and he's very good in handling the stuff and managing and giving me the lecture. So it's overall good stuff.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that's going well. Do you have any suggestions on how we can improve? And also anybody else? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the screen sharing process is a good one, but I think needs a little bit more detail in understanding the tasks. When the new members came the first time, they feel little bit confused. Need little bit more attention at first, and then the new members can go on.
Okay, that's a great point. I like that. Thank you, Amer. How about Donna? Do you have any ideas or suggestions so far?
Mine is a little bit like Umir's. Just the way training is presented. Maybe if it was like step by step, walking you through the process of your job. So when you get trained on something, if you have to do keywords, you get trained on that in the beginning, as opposed to some other time during your training when you happen to stumble over it on the list in Rami or in our, like for the DPs on our checklist, because I'm finding that a lot of stuff is duplicated. And if I've done it in the DP checklist and then I go through Rami and find it again, then I have to retake it because there's a quiz in Rami that I'm supposed to take as well. So maybe having it more organized as what's the first part of your job, you know, have the training for that and have it step through, so you get an idea of how your job flows with training.
Okay, that's a great point, Donna. I made a note of that as well. I agree with that. The step-by-step walkthroughs and kind of an explanation of how everything ties together from a high level would be very helpful. And I do think Romy needs to have a little bit better ordering of training courses and things to let people know here's where you start first, and then here's where you go from there.
So off of that,
Yeah.
I don't think, I know that you were loves the DP checklist, but I don't think we really need it anymore. I think we can import all of those into Romy, rather than having go here for this, and then go to Romy. Just have everything in Romy.
Yeah, I think Romy's built now, so we want everybody going through Romy. I should probably talk to Igor about that. That's a good point. Again, Romy, talk to Igor about this. I know Igor has some older processes that he likes to do probably with new hires, and he does train them as well. But I'll mention that to him. That's a good point. Make a note for this.
I also want to add that I think someone's going to actually literally go through the training today, because since you've like had us kind of go back and try to get all the Roman trainings done, so there's still some outdated kind of information in there that you're still asking us to test on. So and then it becomes like more about a did you just listen to outdated information and you're testing us on outdated information as opposed to having updated kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you run across out-of-date materials at that point, you should send it to me. Because none of our team members, unfortunately, have time to actually go through and retake everything all at once. But anytime a new team member, and I think we have a request in, but anytime they see issues, we want them to email, probably just email me or your team lead, and we'll put in a request to fix that specific item, whatever that specific issue is.
So email you directly rather than using the feedback section,
Right.
Which is the process.
It's a good point. Well, we do have the feedback in there. That's actually a good point. I need to check the feedback area, so that would be on me. Joel,
I put a couple of notes in there.
check the feedback on Romy to get rid of out-of-date stuff. And this is also for team leads. Each team lead is responsible for maintaining their area of training. So team leads, if you don't know how to access your team feedback or your feedback on your quizzes,
Is Jordan on the on there?
I don't see Jordan in here.
Okay, because I'm going to compliment him here for a second. Now, you asked about kind of our training kind of things, and I know Jordan, and he's not on there, right? So he's not going to hear this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I do have to like the fact that like he kind of has more topic-specific training sessions and such.
Jordan does?
Yeah, Jordan does. So when either we do like a one-on-one or even like a team meeting or something like that, you kind of focus on a specific topic, we talk and we kind of discuss that. So and you kind of he sets it up so that you know what you're kind of going into, so that you have that conversation.
Okay.
No one tell Jordan this.
Topic specific.
I will deny it, I will deny it, I will deny it.
Training sessions, Jordan does. Okay, got it. All right, let's see. Other new team members on here, anybody else have any thoughts, Nathan?
Has a note over there.
Hey, I have a suggestion, Joel. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Joel. I have a suggestion. So it's like we have a Romy LMS. So can we do things like competitions, like TL put some competition, like SEO will design infographics or maybe videos. So maybe we can get chance to work on some skill that we are at amateur level, and so it's just a thought.
I didn't quite follow it. Can you make the suggestion again? So like an infographic with a process, is that what you're saying?
No, I was just saying that can we use Romy LMS to like announce some competitions, like a monthly competitions where everybody can participate, and competition can be like a design infographics on any topic or maybe design videos. So in that way, other team members can work on some skill that they are at amateur level.
I really like that idea. That's actually a great idea. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, that's a good one. And I didn't, because you don't have your photo on it, I couldn't see who was just speaking. Who was just speaking?
It's Avinash.
Avinash. Okay, I'm gonna put this idea in. That's a great idea, Avinash. I really like that idea. Avinash, do skill competitions for our team or like hackathon sort of things to let people practice and learn probably new technical skills, right? So like design and development or things like that line. Technical.
Jordan's watching on YouTube.
Someone delete that section.
I guess we have a little picture of Joe. Comedian. All right. So that's a great idea. Now, in terms of hiring priorities, is something else I wanted to mention. I know the PPC analysts have been looking for a new team member, and that's a big priority. That's our top priority right now. We're going to be looking to get some new copy interns, possibly another senior digital producer or digital strategist, although I think we brought on quite a number of folks there that should be pretty solid to handle what we need to do. But does anybody have any positions that they think that were not listed on here that we should really consider, that we really need? Does anybody have any thoughts on they feel like they're overworked in a certain area maybe, or they see somebody that seems overworked or underworked, or we can have people help in other areas? Anything like that for hiring priorities?
We're bringing any new web projects in, Jim?
Working on
it. Yeah, I know the front end team has extra bandwidth right now, so I'm having them help with our SEO team, getting a lot of SEO items knocked out, hopefully. I know our design team also has a lot of extra bandwidth, so they're creating designs for copy, which is great. One note for the designers is that we should be allocating those hours to clients, not coalition projects. So if you do design for a copy client, you should put those hours under that client. I don't think they were doing that. But anybody else have any positions where they think we really need somebody? I think we're pretty well covered. All right, sounds like we're good there.
Just want to go from here to there.
What's that?
Just need all the new people to go from here to there.
Yeah, well, that's where the training comes in. And anytime you guys, and this isn't limited just to team leads. This can go for any team member. So the screen share coaching is very, very powerful. So for example, I know like Joe, you share some clients with like Ben or Neil or Carrie or other folks. Now, if you have a specific area where you want them to learn something, you see like, oh, I don't like the way he put together this email. what I suggest is actually do the screen share coaching. You don't have to be a team lead to do this. It's just give somebody a call on Google Hangouts, or if you're in person, have them sit with you. But basically sit there and watch them and coach them through whatever task that they're working on. That's very helpful for the new team member. And our team leads, obviously, we have, I don't know, 12 or 15 team leads or whatever, and we have something like 80 team members now. So they're very, and the team leads are always very busy. So anytime team members can help coach each other, that's really helpful too. And you guys, if you know how to do something well and you know what the right way to do it, don't be shy about just saying, hey, let me help show this to you. Let's do a screen share, and I'll let you do the work, and I'll kind of give you coaching along the way, and that'll really help you keep that new team member. So, yeah. Any other general suggestions? Any questions, issues of any kind?
Oh, well, actually, there was a suggestion by Dian, our new team member, and I have sent you an email regarding that as well. It's something like implementing something similar to Liaco, what Liaco is doing, rewards point kind of thing. So I'll send you that email again. So probably do check that as well.
Yeah, that was a great idea. I really did like that. I remember that she sent a suggestion about sort of a rewards point program where team members could, by completing certain goals, they could receive reward points, which could be redeemed for, like our client Echo, where they could be redeemed for some sort of rewards, like I don't know, food or Starbucks cards or Amazon gift cards or things along those lines. We sort of have something like that, which is what I had thought about when I saw that idea, and that's the profit share program. And I think in general, people might prefer cash to sort of a more limited option of rewards that you would take off of a list of something that we would build. But the benefit to having a list of items is that it's a little bit more concrete. So you can almost be like, hey, if I achieve these sets of goals, I can get a new MacBook. Oh yeah, that'll be awesome. And whereas if it's just like, I got a cash bonus of $100 this month or $200 next month, it's kind of like, usually I feel like I just put that money in my bank account or something. I don't necessarily correlate it with the physical item, which can be more exciting than just the cash itself. But what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm a wild stallion in Romy, so that's its own reward.
Yes, hard work is its own reward. I agree.
Yeah, those little things that pop up in the corner. I have no idea of what they mean.
Who came up with those?
That was my idea. That was my little pet idea. It's basically the idea is that you start out as like a gnat, and as you proceed through the system, you eventually become like a caterpillar, and then eventually you can become like a stallion as Krista has achieved, and maybe you'll be like a lion is like the highest level or something.
Because something to reevaluate. Yeah. I mean, there was like a little hierarchy we had there, Joel, and out of nowhere I said up. So
we should probably put like a level number in there. That'd probably help people understand rather than just simply the hippo. Like, oh, hippo, I know what that means in comparison, but I can switch to that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I'm gonna make a note on that one.
Can we take a look at the hierarchy?
What's that?
Can we take a look at the order of animals so you know where you are on the 16?
I don't know if you can see that outside of. I think it's like hard coded in there basically. I don't think it's something we can change, but I do want to show the levels, show level numbers along with what animal you are.
So those are like if you're assigned more courses.
No, as you complete more courses, it gives you points, which gives you new animals, basically.
So if people have more courses, then they can get higher in Animal Kingdom? Or do they have like a certain, because of the courses?
You basically, the idea is you start out as like an insect of some sort, and then you move to like the birds, and then you move to like fishes, and then you move to like land animals, and you grow in size, hopefully.
So like, what if people have that one, like 3 courses, and like, they go all the way up, they finish them all?
Or do they?
Looks like I'm some sort of insect. What's that, Brian?
So some people have like 3 courses, some people have like 5 courses. Like you finish 3 courses, will they be like all the way? Will they level up all the way? The same person that has.
I don't think it's comparative. I think it's like if you complete a certain number of courses that you get it. So everybody could be lions if they wanted to be lions, basically. I don't think it's just a stack thing. It's a good question though. Yeah, I don't think in the new version, Mark hard-coded that in here, I believe. So.
I think the chats were talking about tying it to that competition that we have, in which like increase the highest growing, factor in.
Maybe tie this into the competition.
I can, if that's really hard, I can read the chats of it.
It says we should exclude the web dev team then. Shook says this for reading development competitions. That's a good point. The award would only be for other team members. They're too good. Yeah, we'll obviously like if it's an SEO competition for other people to learn it, we probably would exclude the SEO team members because I expect them to be professional level already. And the same thing with each of the other areas. So for like if a digital producer wants to try and do an SEO analysis and get in a competition, then that would be kind of a thing that would make sense. I do like that idea. It's a great idea. Yeah. Well, this is a very good. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, Chetan mentioned that we should have some kind of best team awards, quarterly or something. So that was the conversation actually.
It could be a team-by-team competition, so every team competes in other areas, and then gets to see who the grand winner is, whoever can learn the most about the other teams.
That's not fair.
Competition by team. Who's the best at learning the other areas? Something like that. Yeah. It's interesting. I like that. Well, yeah, this is great. Okay,
Joel, I guess we're still misunderstanding that, I guess, but it's something regarding the performance. It was not tied up with the roaming, I guess. Right, Chetan?
Explain to me.
Yeah, it was not related to roaming. I was trying to make a point wherein teams like in case of our SEO, each of our team has some number of clients. So if, for example, like our team clients perform best and they rank that so and so people have performed good, means directly they are assigning rank to us. So if a particular team wins good number of points, then they should be declared winner for that particular month or quarter. Hello.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Just to make sure I understand, so you're suggesting that we have a team-by-team overall competition of some sort?
Yes, yeah.
On the company KPIs, so like sales revenue versus SEO retention, for example?
Not to that mark, but in order to generate healthy competition among team.
So it's sort of a team of the quarter, team of the month sort of thing. What would it be based on?
Yeah, team of the month or quarter.
Yeah, so Joel is asking like what will be the parameter, how we will judge the performance of the team as there are different team members. There are different teams, like sales have a different criteria, development have a different things.
Yeah. So in that case, definitely it should be inter-team. Like for example, I thought this from SEO team point of view. I didn't took consideration of web development and DPs and all those things.
Okay, so basically it's like a best. Then it's not a team award. It's like a best team member award, like something like that, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, I need to work upon this. This idea came into my mind and I spoke.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Nice idea, I will say. Then.
So intra-team, basically, competition. So best salesperson of the month, best SEO analyst of the month, things like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
If you want to do it between teams and stuff all together, you could just you know, we did the that big competition back last year, so do something similar where everyone has their benchmarks to do, where it's, you know, that they achieve, and then, you know, best team wins, I guess.
Whichever team does that. And that's
Whoever
actually
gets the closest to their benchmarks.
so that's interesting. We're already doing that again this month, as you know. I mentioned that in the company meeting. We have our competition this month, and if whichever teams can meet that, can actually get a full bonus day of pay. So maybe we do something even beyond that for like best team that goes furthest beyond what their goals are. Maybe some sort of reward for that. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I like that. All right. Yeah, so very good ideas in this Spear and Brainstorming. Thank you, everybody, for your participation, and especially thank you to all the new team members who spoke up. I know it can be intimidating, but you guys had great ideas. Everybody else had great ideas as well. This is very helpful to us. And, yeah, so enjoy your weekends. Amon, Jordan, and Christian are usually on Saturday and Sunday doing a little work here and there on work on score task. But if anybody wants to join us, feel free to do so. We're just on chat, so you can chat us. But yeah, have an awesome weekend and enjoy yourselves. Okay.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Good weekend.
That was funny.
Is that like a feature built in now?
Yeah, what is that?
It was somewhere, I think, under tools.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice to know. Everyone's leaving. Just when I'm talking about tools. Okay, waves, bye.
Bye.
All righty.